we'll begin our second Women's Net webinar. And today we have with us Kat Birchmore. She is with Orenki Creative, and we are so excited to have her here today with us. She's going to be talking to us about funnels, how we can use funnels to help us automate the different things in our business that are sometimes time consuming, but can really be simplified and help us to do the things that we love most. And so thank you so much, Kat, for being with us. We're so excited, and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am very excited to be here. Um, I've spoken to a few lovely Women's Net people in the past, so hello if any of you are here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to jump straight in because I have a presentation that I normally do in about an hour, and I'm doing it in 15 minutes. So I have cut bits and made it work so that hopefully it'll all be good. Can you see my screen okay? Yep. Okay, good. And I think we should have reactions on so that if any of you, there'll be a few points where I might ask for like a yes or no or something. So you can just give me a thumbs up and we'll do that when we go through. Let me just make sure I can see that. I think we're good. Okay, awesome. So in business, we all want to make more sales, right? That's the focus for all of us. That's always the goal, is more sales. It's what we're always like driving and striving to get. But a lot of us are told it's a numbers game. We're all taught that the way to sell more is to generate more leads, and it's just a numbers game. We've got to just do more, 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 more. And here's what's wrong with that. It's exhausting. It's not fun. When you stop, everything stops. So when you're focusing on the more and you're putting yourself out there and you're maybe, posting forever on social media and creating content all the time and maybe going to networking meetings, whatever it is that you might be doing, as soon as you stop doing that, stop getting the lead, that then dries up. Then you're working on delivery, whether it's product delivery, whether it's service delivery, whatever it might be, whether it's coaching or consulting delivery, any of that kind of a thing. When you then stop and focus on the delivery, the leads then dry up. So then you are in this feast and famine cycle of like, when you're doing the work, when you're kind of out there and chasing and doing all the more, you're getting all the leads, but then as soon as you stop, the leads dry up, and then it's like, well, I now need to go and get more leads, and it's this horrible feast and famine cycle. So I'd love to know if this is something that you can relate to. If you can give us a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. I'm hoping that little reactions will work. I can't see them, but that doesn't mean, are they working? Can you see them? Oh, okay. I can't. Okay, I don't know why I can't see them. That's such a shame. I'm just seeing if there's anything I can do because I really want to be able to
There's
see
lots
them.
of there's lots of thumbs up and hearts and little celebratory things.
Okay, good. Awesome. Let's say yes then. So when you focus on the numbers, you lose the human. And that's what I don't like. When you're focusing on those numbers, you're just always striving and chasing more. You lose that human side of things and you lose that human connection. So I've got two scenarios for you here, everybody. I've got Hustling Hard Hannah over here and Feeling Free Freya. So Hustling Hard Hannah, she's constantly, gone back too many, constantly engaging on the gram or whatever social media platform of choice you be using, trying to engage with everybody. She's saying yes to all the things in the hopes that her next client or customer might come from there. She feels like she's always having to choose between her family and her business, and she's stressed out about where her next client or customer is going to come from. And then we've got Feeling Free Freya, who wakes up to notifications of new leads and sales overnight. She's got plenty of time for all the things that she loves. She gets to focus on the areas of her business that fill her with joy, and she never has to worry where her next client or customer is coming from. So, which of these two would you prefer? I'm going to take a leap of faith and assume that, like me, most of you would like to be Freya. Waking up to new leads in the morning, all of that good stuff, rather than feeling like you're hustling away and kind of, exhausted. So I'm going to jump and assume that that's the case. So my goal today is to give you permission to stop doing the more, safe in the knowledge your leads won't dry up, show you how automation and funnels can help you save time and make more money, and help make sure that your marketing efforts become much more intentional and joyful. So you're not just in this frantic, I've got to go and find more leads, and you end up not enjoying doing the marketing. I want you to enjoy doing the marketing. So right now, I get that this might sound too good to be true because when you're in the weeds of your business and you're in the thick of doing more, it's hard to see any different. So let me introduce myself properly to you guys. Hello, I'm Kat. I am in the business of people, and I always have been throughout my whole working life. As you can tell from my accent, I am here in the UK. Straight out of uni, I worked with my dad in his luxury bathroom showroom where I did design and sales. On the side of that, I was doing like digital design and marketing as a freelancer for like quite a long time on the side of that. And then I went full time into my funnel and automation agency. So in every part of my working life, I've always been in the business of people. And it's about thinking about that human side of things and making sales from actual people. So in the retail business, was a family business, which obviously had its challenges. Any of you who are in family businesses, I'm sure know it has some great plus sizes, but also some challenges. Um, I was wearing many hats. So I was designer, I was salesperson, I was marketer, which I think is so common with any business, right? Any small business, we're wearing multiple hats. And it's where my love of sales psychology really came from, because for me, I wanted to be able to discover the nuances that different types of people needed to help get them kind of over that edge and kind of I always say off the fence of indecision. So we're not about coercing people or convincing people into sales. There's no like manipulation here. But what we want to do is we want people to make a decision. If that decision is no, that's fine, but at least they've made a decision. Obviously, we want the decision to be yes, but anything we can do to help them make that decision and get off the fence of indecision. And from the design side of things, I became focused on experience how people were experiencing the space. So I was in the world of bathrooms, so it was in a physical space and how people were physically using the space. And that kind of moved into my digital side of things as I fell in love with the whole digital world and how people use digital spaces. And so my route from freelancer to agency, I worked doing a number of different things, everything. I tried all the things from social media management to graphic design to websites to everything. Again, all of our clients always came from relationships, from people, from actually making those connections with people, whether it was through referrals, networking, all of that good stuff as well. And then became a focus on the funnels and automation. Now, I've been doing all of this my whole working life whilst living with a very rare form of cancer that's left me deaf in one ear. So, my right ear, I'm deaf, with very severe balance issues as a side effect of the radiotherapy on my ear, and now registered disabled because of those balance and mobility issues as well. And I tell you this not for pity, not for woe is me or for sympathy or any of that kind of thing. I tell you this so that you understand that I can't do the more that we're all encouraged we have to do, that hustle. I just can't do it. And I always have needed to find a way to grow and get more clients without all that endless networking, relationship building, and all of that stuff that takes up so much time. And that when you stop doing it, everything stops and dries up, right? So I had to find different ways to do that. And this is why I fell in love with funnels and automation, because it's so aligned with what I believe in the whole like anti-hustle side of things. I'm not about hustling. I'm not about any of that stuff. So that's what this is. This is why I'm sharing that information with you. And also, just to give a little bit of gravitas and so that you know I know what I'm talking about, this is one of my lovely clients. I've worked with people all over the world, with a lot of wonderful people in the US as well, which Lisa's in the US, where we redesigned her evergreen webinar funnel and got her, obviously you can read all of this and have a look on my website as well, but we got her funnel that was performing, it was hitting, it was bringing her in about $10,000 a month. And after we redesigned it all, she got up to 100K a month. So that was a massive win for us. So I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to, conversion side of things and what actually makes the difference in getting those people off that fence of indecision. So I love this picture. This is me when I had shorter hair. I want to know if any of you have felt like you've ever wanted to throw your computer out the window before. I'm sure we all have, right? But what I'm specifically talking about is that feeling where you're feeling like you're getting bombarded by loads of different people telling you different things that you need to do in your business to get the leads and the sales that you want, whether it's maybe, one week you're hearing from someone saying it's all about Instagram Reels. The next week you're hearing someone saying, oh no, you've got to start a podcast. And the next time you hear from someone saying, oh no, you need to be doing TikTok. And then it's, oh no, YouTube's better than TikTok. You need YouTube. And sometimes it's long video, sometimes it's short video. And then it's, oh no, you need proper, photos on Instagram rather than video. And then it's, oh no, you need to be able to write blogs, and you need to be able to do this and do this. And oh no, you need to go out and do networking. You need to go to events, and maybe you need to join a mastermind so that you can do people this way. And, all these things, right? It's like super overwhelming, and it makes you just want to throw your computer out the window. So I'd love to know if any of you have felt like this. Just give us lots of thumbs up and all of that stuff, lots of reaction.
We've been getting a lot of thumbs ups, reaction,
Yay, yay,
and everyone
love that.
likes the picture.
Yeah, I love it as well. Love it. And the thing is all of those things work, right? They all work, but they're all just tactics. We're missing a vital step when we focus on all of those like high level, like or low level tactics of how to get more sales and leads. We're missing a vital step, and that is the customer journey. And if you take anything away from what I say today, please can it be this? The customer journey is so important. It is the backbone of any business. It is the underlying strategy that everything else then needs to come off of. And so it's having this automated plan in place for every part of that customer journey. And whatever, it looks different for every business. Every business is different. Our products are different, our services are different. Every business, our perfect fit clients are different. Every business is different. There isn't like a one size fits all customer journey, but I like to break it down into these three sections. So there's the collecting the leads. What are we doing to collect leads? Converting those leads into clients. What are we doing to convert them into clients? And then creating fans. And by that, I mean turning those clients into repeat clients and also into referral or affiliates or any of that stuff, so that then they can tell all their friends and family, their business connections about us and all of that good stuff as well. So it's having this actual system in place that is there so that when you're having a month where maybe those leads or those sales have dried up, you can just press, you know which levers to turn on and turn off to fill the pipeline and to make it work again. And having this completely planned out and as much of it automated as possible means that then you kind of can get your business running much more on autopilot, and you're not having to stress about where that next sale is going to come from. So I like to break this down a little bit further just so you can see a bit more detail here. So within the collect leads, this is all about figuring out who it is that you're targeting. So I call this your perfect fit person, not your ideal client. I prefer the phrase perfect fit person. And my top tip, just to share with you all as well, when it comes to ideal client work is, there's so many different workshops and strategies out there for when it comes to ideal client avatar and all of that stuff. My personal preferred way to do this, and it's what I recommend doing for everybody, is think of a specific client or customer that you've had that you really loved working with, that maybe bought all of your stuff, that had a really great experience, left you a really great testimonial. Use that actual person in your head, maybe write down information about them as the person that you're then targeting, because by being very specific about them, and when you're creating content and all of that good stuff, when you're thinking about them, you're going to attract other people as well, but it means you get to be very specific about who it is, and you're not targeting some made up person that you don't know. So it's really good to get as specific as possible. And if you're a brand new business and you don't know, wait until you do. So, just work with lots of different people, have lots of, until you've got enough customers that you can say, right, okay, I really liked this one, or this one had a really great experience with us, or this one loved the product and left us a great review. This is now our perfect fit person. So until you've had that, then that's when you know who that is. And then it's what you're going to do to attract that person. So this is all in your messaging and everything, to attract them to you. Your capture, this is your what's the lead magnet that you're going to put out there to actually capture their information. And then you want to engage with those people and present your offer to them, close the sale, deliver that offer to them, impress them so that they think you are absolutely brilliant, and multiply. This is what I mean by turn them into repeat customers and fans that refer you or recommend you, or dependent on business type, how all of that works. Without that system working on autopilot, everything else becomes pointless. Because if you're focusing all your time on, which social media platform you should be on, or which networking events you should go to, or any of that stuff, and you're maybe collecting people's information without all of that other stuff there ready to go, it could be the situation that you end up creating a bunch of leads, but then by the time you get around to actually following up with those leads, they've gone cold. Whereas when you've got something automated in place, you're following up with them at exactly the right time, that suits them, so that they're more likely to then take that next step. Whatever type of business you have, it's kind of having that automated system in place is what really makes the difference. Now, I want to talk specifically about funnels. So let me just go back a little bit. There are funnels for any part of this. So technically, the whole customer journey could be a funnel, but then you can have other funnels within each kind of part of this customer journey as well. Just gonna take a sip of my drink. And the funnels that you use are going to very much depend on your business, what it is that you're selling, and all of that kind of a thing. So what I'm going to be doing today is just sharing kind of that high level overview information with you. And then if you want to talk specifics, we can always do that as well. You can get in touch with me. So there are 4 parts to every funnel. There's the traffic, so that's how people are actually visiting the funnel itself. There's the offers in your funnel, so what people are actually signing up for, what they're paying for. The pages, so that's what they're actually landing on online, what you actually see on your screen. And then the emails that happen on the back end, either before or after, or both, the other parts of the funnel. So sometimes your emails might be the way that you're sending traffic to your pages that have your offers on them. Now, sometimes when people talk about funnels, they actually just mean the emails. When I talk about funnels, I'm talking about the whole thing. And what kind of funnel strategy do we have for the whole thing? So there are 4 parts to every funnel, and it's really important to think about these different elements as well. And you can break down and get specialists in all of these different parts of funnels as well, and really kind of understand that in more detail too. And then here, I would say there are 3 main types of funnels. 3 main types of funnels. There's lead funnels, there's live funnels, and there's evergreen funnels. And what I've tried to do here is just give you an example of some of those funnels within each of those different types of funnels. So a lead funnel does what it says on the tin, and that's how you get people's information. So it is a lead capture funnel, or an application funnel if maybe you are a consultant or something, or a coach, and people need to apply to work with you, or a service provider, anything like that. Then you're going to be doing an application funnel, can work really, really well. As I said, a lead funnel, it could be anything from, if you are product-based, e-commerce based, it might be, have you seen on those, when you go onto those shops and they have like the spinny wheels for capturing people's details and giving you a discount? That's a lead funnel. That's absolutely a lead funnel. Obviously, there's more going on than in the back end, but that's the front part of the lead funnel. Then a live funnel is anything that happens live in time, where you're interacting live with your audience as such. Now, my favorite are the evergreen funnels, but I do think it is good for most businesses, dependent on the type, to still throw in a couple of live launches, live funnels in there every year, just to spice things up a little bit. So examples of live funnels might be a challenge funnel. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that kind of a thing before. Live webinar or workshop funnels. And just any live launch funnel where you're sending traffic specifically to a page within a set time, that is only available during that set time. Maybe you've got a special offer, or Black Friday is a really good example of like a live funnel, because it's a set in time thing that happens every year for Black Friday within those dates. And, there's very specific dates that it happens. But it's not an evergreen funnel, even though it happens every year, because it's set to those dates. It's not available all the time. It's only available during Black Friday. Then you've got evergreen funnels. So again, just a few examples: evergreen funnel or workshop funnel. So I have the live version and the evergreen version, and they have different strategies behind them, and all of that good stuff. So that comes in there as well. Most e-commerce funnels are evergreen funnels as well. So I wanted to put them in there, and it depends on the product as to what that would look like, but just kind of the generic e-commerce funnel is there. And then there's an SLO funnel, which is one of my favorites, which stands for self-liquidating offer, which is when you have a low ticket offer on the front end that when people purchase, that helps to fund the costs of the ads that you're then doing, and then you upsell on the back end. So that's why it's called self-liquidating offer, because you are liquidating your ad costs. Hoping that makes sense. Now, you may already have a system, a customer journey mapped out, or some funnels in place for your business. And if you do, what I wanted to do is just share with you some of the mistakes I see, so that if you already have something in place or you're planning to get started, you cannot make these mistakes. Because I want to make sure that you have the best system set up for your business to make sure that you have success with this. So, some of the mistakes I see are copying what other businesses are doing. So, funnel hacking. Don't know if any of you lot have seen that online. Very famous phrase in the online marketing world is funnel hacking. I am not a fan of funnel hacking, because if you copy what someone else is doing in their funnel, even if they're selling a very similar product or service or offering to you, you don't know what's going on in the back end, and you actually don't know how well that funnel is performing. So you might end up copying an underperforming funnel, or a funnel that's costing them a heck of a lot in ad spend to actually drive traffic to, and potentially their profit, it could be very, very low. You don't know that. Also, you don't know that your perfect fit person is the same as their perfect fit person. You don't know that the goals for the business are the same. So even if the product or the service is, very, very similar or the same, there's so many other things that need to be taken into account. I really don't like the idea. I just really don't like hacking what other people do. So what I recommend doing is speaking to a funnel specialist and mapping out the right funnel that is correct for you and your business. And a really good example of this is, I have a client that I've worked with, and they were sold on a strategy from a coach who had one specific way to create an automated funnel in their business. And it was like this specific formula. It was a very specific type of funnel. They set it all up. They paid a lot of money for this. We're talking thousands and thousands of dollars for it. And it worked, but not that well. They came to me and I said, the price point of your offer is not right for this type of funnel. This type of funnel works better on an offer that's like a high ticket. Theirs was a low ticket. It's not going to work for this type of funnel. We need a different type of funnel. So now we've built out this whole new funnel for them and put it in place, and it's working much better. It's actually speaking to their perfect fit person on a much better way than the other funnel was. The other mistake I see is people spend too long nurturing. So we don't want to nurture these people to death. We don't want to just nurture. As soon as people land on your email list, that is when they are at their hottest. That is when they are most intrigued by you, most interested. They're opening more of your emails than they ever will ever again. Please present an offer to them quickly. Please give them the opportunity to buy straight away. It's okay if they don't. It doesn't mean they don't want it later down the line, but at least give them that opportunity to buy then. And also, another mistake I see is that people use lack, problem, or fear-based messaging. It was very popular, in the early 2000s and 2010s and all that. This like fear-based messaging, and I absolutely hate it. I am a fan of desire, hope, dream, love, positive messaging. Sell people on the solution, not on the problem. So, and a really great example of this is when I was last out in the States. I flew in and we went to pick up our car hire that we'd hired, and the lady at the desk was desperately trying to sell me the upgrade to the prepaid toll machine. And I said, no, I'm fine. I don't need it. And she's like, oh, but you're going to get caught. She just kept listing all the problems, and basically that I was going to be going on all these toll roads and I was going to need it. And she just kept telling me how much worse it will be if I didn't buy this thing. And I was like, yeah, no, thank you. Whereas if she positioned it to me that, oh, this is going to save you so much time because you're not going to have to rummage around for change when you get to the tolls, I might have bought it. But safe to say I did not, and did not even need it very much. So I was very pleased I did not. But this is a great example of using that desire and dream-based messaging instead of problem and fear-based messaging. So how do we work out the system or fix a broken one if you have got one that isn't working? And it all comes back to the customer journey. This is what's key here. Having that mapped out, that helps you see where the holes are. Actually taking the time to literally write it all down and go, right, what happens when they first come into my world? How do they then go from this to this step? How does that happen? What do the conversion rates look like? And then to this next step, where are their holes? Where can I plug those holes so that it all happens? Where can I automate it so that I don't have to manually be doing any of that process as well? So this is where that customer journey is so important, and it's just the foundational step. Mapping this out is really, really important. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering how to map it out. So I wanted to give you all a gift in the hopes that it will help you map that out. I really want to help you guys do as much as you can to really get successful in this. Jammer and I were talking the other day about how important it is for founders, even if you end up hiring other people to help you do some of this stuff. It's really important for you to understand the strategy and to really kind of get the why behind what you're doing, and also some of the what, so you know the right questions to ask. So whether you're planning to DIY it, or whether you're planning to work with other people that you either already have on your team or bring on board to help you with any of this, it's really important that you educate yourself and you feel confident in how all of this works. And I want to equip you with that so that you feel empowered to make those right decisions and to know what questions to ask and all of that good stuff. So what I've got for you is a customer journey mapping workshop that I did where I ran an automation summit earlier this year, and this was part of the VIP upgrade. So this is not something that's available for free anywhere else. You're the only people who've got access to this for free. Everybody else who's had it has had to pay for it as part of other things. I wanted to gift you this. So as well as the customer journey mapping workshop, there's also a panel session with a couple of other women business owners here in the UK, where we talked about different types of automation strategies that you could employ in your business as well. So I think that's going to be really useful for you too. And this customer journey mapping workshop, I actually walked through with one of the attendees, and we mapped out her whole customer journey on there. So you really get to see how it works. You also get to take away an example that you can fill out and all of that good stuff as well. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy that and make use of that. So hopefully you've all had a chance to scan the QR code. And if you don't know how to do that, by the way, you just pick up your phone. I'm hoping everybody does, and you just open the camera as if you're about to take a photo, and then that should open up the link for you. So hopefully you've all been able to do that. I'm going to move over to the next slide, and then come to the end now. And I know we've got some questions, but I'd love to connect with any of you who've got any further questions or anything like that. You can reach out to me over on Instagram, and you can also come over and have a look at my website. I've got some examples there of opt-ins, I've got resources, I've got recommended tech, all of that good stuff over there as well. And you can see my handle at Kat Birchmore. I'm that on most of the social media platforms. So shall I bring up the QR code as well, just while we're chatting, in case anybody wants to still get access to that?
Thanks so much for providing that.
You're so welcome. I just was like, what can I give people that will really make a difference? And I'm not a fan of, and this is actually a tip for all of you as well, when it comes to your lead magnet. Like, this obviously isn't a lead magnet for me anyway, but whenever you're giving away something for free, like, it needs to be something that almost like hurts a bit to give away for free, because that's when it's a really, like, sexy lead magnet. That's when people are more likely to actually sign up for it. And I think, it matters to me anyway that I'm really making a difference with people's businesses. And I think it's, for me, I always want to work with people like that, and who also, want to kind of do great things in the world. And I think when we can help people do that, it's really, really important and good that we can do that.
For sure. Absolutely.
So I think we've got some questions.
We do have some questions, and I'll go ahead and get started. I know that you spoke a little bit about nurturing. We had a question about that. And then we have some other questions that deal with templates and guides, and you kind of covered that a little bit, but I'll go ahead and start and yeah, and get to them. So the first question is, some of our women in our network want to know, do funnels work for a product-based business? And then
I love this.
How?
I love this question. So short answer, yes. Absolutely, they work for every business. I have yet to come across a business that does not work for. How will depend on the product, and also not just the product, but like your type of business. So for example, if you run a business whereby you sell like one core product, and it's maybe something that people are likely to want more of, so maybe food-based, like coffee or cakes even, like, and maybe people might want more if they're buying more cakes rather than, I mean, like a one-off wedding cake. I know I'm thinking that because I'm thinking of a specific business that sells like low-fat cakes and things like that. What's the other one I'm thinking? So a lot of health products, so like skincare, makeup, um supplements, anything like that, that people would then want to buy more of the same thing once they found something that they like. Then you can very easily set up a type of funnel whereby they might purchase one thing, and then once they've put in their bank details, you would take them to a page of saying, okay, well, actually, if you add another one to your cart, you're going to get it for 50% off your order, and then if they say yes to that, okay, well, actually, would you like a subscription of it for, X% off? There's lots of ways to funnel and to make that work. If you're more of a like a more general store, like an Amazon-esque, where you sell lots of different types of products, rather than having like maybe the core product like that, then there are maybe different ways of doing it. So the example I gave earlier of like the spinning wheel to get the discount, that's a really great lead capture for any e-commerce product type business, because discounts work really well for product-based businesses. But then there are other things that you can do on the back end as well, with emails and all of that stuff. Like with product-based, you can do really fun visual emails campaigns as well. So you can do things for, if you can capture people's birthdays, then sending out special offers on birthdays. There's so many things you can do. So 100% they work for product-based businesses. Yeah.
Wonderful. And then if one is already selling their products on their website, do you recommend setting up this funnel through your current website or another service?
Love this question as well. I always get tech questions, which is cool. So my answer is it depends. Um, so it depends on the capability of your current checkout. In an ideal world, we want a solution where we can have order bumps and upsells, and not all checkouts have that. So, like, for example, I think the standard Shopify checkout, I think you can add it on maybe as an extra. I don't think the standard one does. It's been a while since I've been in Shopify. But so some of them do, some of them don't. Um, I am a fan of using the tech you have. So what I would encourage you to do is to see what's possible with the tech that you have, see what you can do with that, and see if there's a way to kind of do the thing that you want to do with what you've got. Equally, I'm also a fan of investing in the right tech to help you do the thing that you really need to do. So if it's a case of that's a missing piece that you need, you might then need a separate kind of checkout solution. You might not need the whole funnel side of things. It might just be the checkout that you need, but then the actual sales pages could still be on the website. That's what I do with mine. I have my pages on my website, and then the checkouts are in a specific checkout solution that has bumps and upsells. But for some people, a specific funnel software might be a better solution. So it does kind of depend a little bit.
Okay. And so this next question reminds me of the mapping PDF you're sending
Mm-hmm.
with the scan, but is there a template or a guide that could help some business owners determine what aspects need to be automated or even what platforms to use? You can really get overwhelmed with platforms and use
Yeah.
3 or 4, but that
Yeah.
doesn't really help with time
Yeah,
reduction.
definitely. So I think watch this, watch the training for sure. And there is a template in there. It's a Figma file, which I know not everybody uses Figma. That's me as a designer using Figma, but you can get a free account and use it all within there. And I show you how to do it, or you can like take the bits and put it in a software that you would prefer to use, whatever works for you. But I walk through how to do all of that. So you'll see all of that in the video. I don't include tech recommendations because every business is different. I am trying to figure out a solution because I get asked about tech. Like it's like the most common questions I get is tech. So I am trying to work on a solution of like filling in some, answering some questions and then giving some recommendations, some kind of solution like that. And I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll have something ready for people. I obviously have my preferred tech solutions, and I have some tech recommendations on my website if you go to the resources tab. But the other thing as well is feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. If it's a fairly simple thing that I can literally just say, oh, I would do this, then I might be able to answer you there and then. Obviously, if it's more detailed, and you're doing quite an expansive thing, then that might be a longer conversation that we would potentially need to have.
Okay. Sounds great. And then this next question reminds me of what you were just saying about nurturing. So we have some business owners that are in the therapy or coaching service-based industry, and they provide tons of free content, hoping that this will turn into a paid subscriber, but this isn't actually happening. So what is your best tip to nurture an audience that you already have to take the leap and become a paid subscriber?
So I would say present the offer straight away. Oh, is my sound still okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Sorry, I thought it dropped there. Um, so yeah, present your offers straight away. Don't nurture for too long. Present your offers and move. And if they say no, like move them in. There's so many different email campaigns you can create to present the same offer in a different way, or maybe slightly tweak the offer to hit the needs that they want. So give them multiple opportunities to buy. It's not just like I've presented it once and they didn't buy. The other thing I would say is it might not be that the nurturing is the problem. And without knowing more about that specific situation, I wouldn't be able to say. But with when it comes to sales, like there's so many different parts at which people can drop off. And knowing where that happens is would be really important so that we can then plug those gaps. And this is again where that customer mapping, the customer journey mapping can be really important because it helps you figure that out. So what I would normally do is I would say, right, okay, so here's the emails. How many people are on the email list? How many people are opening those emails? How many people are clicking the links? This is the most important thing. So email open rates are less important nowadays because of Apple's update. They're like opening emails themselves. You want to track your own open rates against your own open rates, but not against other people's. But what you really want to track are link clicks. So click through rates. You want that, those are what you want to track because that's going to tell you how well an email performs. You want to make sure you've got links in every single email. So you're not just nurturing for the sake of it. You are actually sending people to an offer, or to somewhere, even if it's to a training or something, or a blog post or whatever it is. You want your link posts, your links in every single email so that you're tracking that. So what I would want to be looking at is what those click-through rates are, and then on the page that the offer is, how many people are compared to how many people are opening the emails or read or clicking the link or getting the email, how many people are actually getting as far as the page, and then from those, how many people are getting as far as the checkout, so that we can see where are people dropping off, because it might not be that they're dropping off in the emails, they might be dropping off on the page. There might be a problem on the page, or it might be that the offer is positioned in a way that it's not quite speaking to their desire and their need. There's so many different things that it could be. So it's hard for me to give that kind of overall generic advice beyond don't just nurture, please show them the offer.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Looking at the data, looking at
Mm-hmm.
where they
Yeah, I
dropping.
want you to make decisions based on the data, not drama. And then that's the thing. So a lot of us, we can launch something and be like, oh, I feel like no,
Yeah.
maybe only one or two people buy, so it feels like it's been a rubbish launch. Nobody's done anything. But then when you look at the data, maybe only like 10 people saw the page, and actually one or two people buying based off 10 people seeing the page is actually quite a good conversion rate. So you've got to think about all of those kinds of things. You've got to make decisions based on the data, not based on drama.
Absolutely. Love it. Data, not drama.
Uh-huh. That's what I
Okay,
say all the time.
here's drama with the next question. All right, so this next question is about printing. This company, they print on-demand products, and right now they sell from their website, Squarespace, but they want to be able to have the customers be updated directly on the shipping and tracking as opposed to this going to the business owner. So is there a way to
Mhm.
automate that? I know this is another techie question.
Yeah. So there will be, but how is going to depend on like a multitude of different things. So if you haven't already, you're going to need some form of email marketing provider or CRM system that does automated emails. So we need that as the first step. And then we need a way to speak to the emails from your print on demand company. So whether there's a system that automatically connects the two, or whether it's a system that once you've got the email from them, that then connects the two to then send that information to your client. So it is doable. It's just figuring out how all of that works, I'd encourage you to look at a tool called Zapier or Zapier. So that is a tool that connects two tools or three tools to each other. They do have a free plan available for a small number of Zaps. And then there's also other tools. I use quite a few different ones dependent on what we're trying to do and how extensive that automation is to build out is which tech tool I'd recommend. But feel free to reach out. I can always help with that with any specific.
Right. And that was Zapier, was it as Zapier?
ER, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. And so this next one has to do with something similar, ones in the creative field. So this business plans to have a section on their site devoted to licensing their art, and then another one to have a shop, a print-on-demand shop. So they want to know what's the best way to create a funnel that'll support both. So is that
Okay.
possible?
I love that question. Yes, and maybe no, dependent. Every single question, I'm like, it depends. And this is where I'm so passionate about not using this like blanket strategies and cookie cutter strategies for people. You've got to take the nuances of your business and your goals and your perfect fit person into account to create the right strategy for you. So I would say, first things first, if you're just getting started, it might be a case of not worrying too much about a funnel right now and focusing on getting those first sales so that you can understand how they come in and then turn that into a funnel. Um, the other thing I would say is in terms of a simple funnel that speaks to both those different types of offers, I would ask you if your target person, so your perfect fit person for the two offers is the same. Because if they are the same, then yes. But if they're not, then no, you would need two separate funnels. So if and I would start with a lead magnet. So if they're the same, then you'd have one lead magnet. If they're different, you're going to have two different lead magnets, and then some email nurture to encourage, or well, nurture, but not nurture to death, nurture to campaigns. Let's say that to get them to purchase. There are specific campaigns in there that I would normally recommend to then get people to purchase. So I hope that helps. That's what I would focus on to start with.
That does help, especially with knowing your audience, right? And so that
Yeah,
might.
it's really important because if the more specific you can be when you're in your messaging, when you're speaking to people, so whether it's in your emails, whether it's in content you put out online, on social media, whatever, any way that you're either written or verbally speaking to people, if you're trying to speak to too many different types of people, it's not going to land and you're not going to get the conversion. So the more specific you can be, the better. And so often I like to do a lot of work. Any of you who've done any disc work, I often with my clients sit down and we figure out which of the colors are their perfect fit person so that we know we can create content and create a lead magnet that would speak to that person because they're all going to be attracted by different types of content and all of that good stuff. So it's very important. Messaging is very important and knowing your perfect fit person.
Wonderful. And so this is a very specific question and a very unique one, but definitely it's come up several times with some of our network that have mentioned this in their applications. We have a business that is a surfing company, and in keeping with their company values, they don't want to utilize social media. And so is there a formula or a strategy that they can get customers organically without the use of social media?
Yes, is the short answer. The long answer is how you do that, again, will depend a little bit. And it might be a little bit of trial and error. So there isn't like a blanket strategy that I'm just going to hand to you and you're going to go off and do because you need to figure out what works for your business. So there is going to be a little bit of time and effort involved. But what I would be doing, and it's what I've done for myself as well in the past alongside social media, is as much in-person stuff as you can do as possible, really. So whether that's local networking, whether it's going to big events, whether there's sponsorship opportunities, where anything sports related, there's so many opportunities when it comes to sponsorships. If you're open to working with influencers that are on social media, that even though you're not, that could be a route as well. But going to events where you have some kind of sponsored stand there, that kind of a thing, and can maybe create merchandise to give out to those people. There's so many different things that you can do. You can still do things like traditional postal campaigns with what's sometimes called fluffy mail, or what's the other word for it? Where lumpy mail, where you put something physically in it, so people are more likely to open it than if it's like a flat postcard. If you're putting some kind of, like a miniature wooden surfboard or something that's maybe acts as a paperweight, and you're giving that out to people. There's so many different things that you could do. So yeah, I would just say, how can you get in front of people physically rather than virtually, and then do that.
Yeah, such a great question, and we all know some of the dangers of social media too.
Yeah,
So
and you can still have the digital, like automations in the back end, so you can still have your lead magnet in the back end of, like, if you're appealing to surfers, maybe it'd be something, I mean, I don't know, because I know nothing about surfing, so I'm so sorry if I'm totally off with this, but something like the 10 best techniques, or something to clean your board, or whatever kind of lead magnet it might be that they would be interested in. So you can still have that, and then when you're in person doing all your connecting, you say, here's, scan the QR code and get my thing. So you're still getting their details digitally. You're just not getting it via social media.
sure, for sure. It seems like everyone has or most everyone has an email account at least these days. So Kat, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're so excited about this QR code and digging into that. It's a really great start to help us to begin to learn the automation funnels and automation processes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you so much, our Women's Net Network, and for attending this webinar. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Take care.